Hi, it's Becky with Bee Mom. We're gonna do a couple different things this week. We're gonna start with making muffins that might be kind of fun to have on Christmas morning. And we're going to make a crafty thing and decorate an area. We're making muffins today. And they are, for our purposes, they're going to be mostly keto muffins. They're not going to be completely keto muffins, but I will tell you how to make them so that they could be if you wanted to do it that way. What I have is a very simple thing. We have our blueberry mix. Now this company, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I'm going to guess here, Lakanto. They make a lot of different things. Their items, what they're famous for is their monk fruit, M-O-N-K fruit sweetener. And that is a natural sweetener. And it is, therefore it is healthier. It's a little better than like Equal or Splenda or something like that. But these muffins have instructions on the back. And so we're just gonna follow those mostly. You make these kinds of things, they tend to come out a little bit on the dry side. And so I find that if we shift the ingredients a little bit, then that kind of puts a little more moisture. Now I've already preheated my oven, so when we get to that part, we won't worry about that. But let's read the directions and let's make these muffins. And then if you want to get them, where you could get them is, I ordered this from a place called Thrive Market, and I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. I just use them, and so I like some of their items. But I think you could also get this brand from Walmart in some places, so your local area might have it. Some of the local grocery stores. Obviously, you could probably order it from Amazon as well, but compare prices, because sometimes the Amazon can get a little bit pricey with grocery items. So there you go. Oh, and Whole Foods for sure. I guarantee Whole Foods would have it. So if we hear weird noises, my kitties are running around not necessarily behaving. So that's that. All right. This package says this. It says this package. It says add 1/3 cup of oil. It suggests coconut oil, but I find olive oil easier to work with. So I'm going to use olive oil for mine. And 2/3 cup of water, and then 3 eggs. But what I want to do is do half water and half oil, because then there's a little more oil and there's a little more moisture in there. If you didn't want to have a lot of extra fat, then you could replace the oil with some applesauce or a banana, and then it will also add a little extra sweetness to it. Because the other thing I found with these, which we're going to definitely change a little bit because of some other things we're adding, is that they cannot maybe be a little less sweet. So if you like things more sweet, you could get a sweetener that you like and add a little of that back in. You want to check the packaging. It usually tells you comparison-wise what the difference is between the sweetener you're using and like a cup of sugar, for instance. And then you can work out the proportions for that. For me, for my family, which is right now just my husband and me, but we don't mind a little sugar, and that's okay. So I'm going to add, and I showed you before, my raw sugar that I'm going to use. So that's what we're going to use for that. But I'm also going to add, some frozen berries, because that makes it taste awesome. I like extra berries in my muffins. And because we're adding extra berries to help the mix better, we're going to go ahead and add some almond flour, which is what's the main flour that's in this. And so that's how it stays. And for flavor, we're going to add the bus. Oh, I told you last time we needed to do the wet ingredients first. Here's what I have done. This is a 1 cup. Isn't it cute? Wait, let me make sure that I'm not lying to you. Yep, this is a 1 cup measuring cup. I think I got it at like the grocery store, and there's a whole, you know how they make measuring cups with all the different sizes, so that's what this is. So I'm going to just fill it half and half. Half with water And we'll put that in. And then half with olive oil. So we've got that. And because we know that sugar and sweeteners kind of works out to be liquid ingredients, even though it doesn't necessarily seem like it, we're going to go ahead and add it. I'm going to use a measuring cup so that you can see clearly. This is one I got from Pampered Chef years ago. I think they still sell them. They're really good. They have the measuring things on the inside so that when you set it on a flat surface, you can read it really well. I'll try to turn that around and show you, and I am just going to add, that's a little too much. I am just going to add, yeah, it works out to about a third, a quarter cup, a third cup. I'm going to see if you can see that, of sugar. But if you add sweetener, remember, look it up, because it won't be that much necessarily depending on what you use. When I use monk fruit, which is Swerve also has that, it's kind of monk fruit and stevia mixed, stevia in the raw, those kinds of things. It's almost 1-to-1. It's a little less of the sweetener as opposed to the sugar, but it's almost 1-to-1. So we have our eggs. Now, when you watch like those professional cooking shows and stuff, then they always tell you to break the egg in something else in case there's something weird in there, which personally I have found is important if you like to get fresh chicken eggs from friends, because they're different than store-bought eggs. They're better for you than store-bought eggs, and they're fresher, but they're a little different. So just for our purposes, we're gonna see, 1, boom, 2, see, it's all good. I don't think I've ever had a store-bought, maybe once. I am a little older than 50, and I've had one time when I cracked a store-bought egg and went, oh, that's no good. So just to be on the safe side, and of course if you want to be like the professional chefs, they always do this. There's that. Now what I'm doing, see, I'm putting all my trash on a trash plate to be easy to throw away later. So I'll just put my dirty dish on that trash plate too. And I have my apron so I can clean my hands. And we'll add our little bit of salt, you know how I like to do. Boom, just to give it a little extra flavor. So I'll put my cord over there so you can, there we go. Get all the nice wet ingredients mixed up. Alrighty. Let's add our muffin stuff. So double check. Oil, water, eggs. And we added a little bit of salt for flavor and a little bit of sugar for a little extra sweetness. Whoosh. And of course, where does this go? Right on my trash plate. All right. So we'll mix this in, and then look what we're going to do. There's the basic muffin mix. All right. Now, what I learned when you add, like with muffin mix, with cake mix, with cookies, anything like that, when you're going to add something extra, chocolate chips, different kinds of fruit, raisins, nuts, these kinds of things. It helps if you a little bit of flour. Now you can use, if you're making just regular stuff with the regular type ingredients, you want to use regular flour, but I just got like a quarter cup, not much of this, and I just I'm going to tilt this to make it easier to see. I just sprinkled that in and saved a little bit. And then on top of the flour, I add my berries. I wanted to apologize right here because I realized that you absolutely cannot see what I am doing in the bowl, and so I'm sorry about that, because when I filmed it I could see that I had sprinkled it, but apparently it shows up differently, so I will double check that when I look. But I just put the flour in, then put the berries on top, then put a little more flour on top, and that's what I did right there to help it mix in. And with muffins, I find that adding frozen berries really works well. Then we'll add the rest of the flour. We could probably add just a touch more. Oops, just so you've got a little extra flour on top. We didn't need all of it, so I put some of it back. But there you go. Kind of just makes it all mix in well. It's a little like if you ever make Jell-O, first you want to let it set up a little bit and then add your fruit, because then the fruit stays, it doesn't drop to the bottom, and that's what this does. It helps it not drop to the bottom. All right, so now we're going to put these in muffin tins, and we'll talk about that. All right, for filling the muffin tins, I'm sorry, I'm going to look weird because I wanted you to be able to see it, because we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do like a scientific experiment and see how it works out. I have 3 different things to put on these muffin tins. I have cupcake holders. And so for some of them, I'm going to use cupcake holders. And we'll put those in there. And then for some of them, we're going to actually put parchment paper in as like a cupcake holder. So I'm just cutting it to size, and then it's pretty simple. Okay, and then we're gonna kind of fold them in quarters again and put them in. And I am just, you do that, and then you can stuff them in and like make them fit in the thing. Parchment paper is great because of its versatility. You can make it wiggle and stuff like that. I've never actually done this before. This part about the parchment paper, putting it in, I've never actually tried it, but I saw somewhere I picked up muffins and that's how they were served. It was like at a bakery store or something. And the last ones we'll do with our handy dandy. Now, I have a measuring cup. I'll tell you a little story. I have a dear daughter who is now grown and has moved out of the house. And she was my one whenever I would bake when she was a kid. Her question was always, when it came to cookies or cupcakes or brownies or something, Mom, you're not going to bake all of that, right? Because she loved the dough. And so that was always fun. So the first time we moved into the house was when she first moved away. And I made brownies that week, and I thought, my daughter's not here to lick the bowl. So it's okay. They have to grow up, don't they? All right, we're going to move the parchment paper. And then I have, the parchment paper was in these two, and so these two have pan spray in them. So it says it should do this many. So it's a 1 cup measuring cup, but I'm not gonna fill them all the way. Usually, if you have never done it before with muffins or cupcakes, it works best if you fill them just about 2/3 full. And then here's some of this. Okay, and here's some of this. this is a good opportunity to show you something. They didn't all fit. Like, we ran out of stuff. So we got that. And next thing, when you have this, in case you didn't know, sometimes if you put stuff in here like this, with blank spaces in your muffin tin, those can turn black because there's nothing in to keep them. So I fill them about 1/3 to 1/2 full of water, and that kind of gives the oven something to bake. I have to bake for about 18 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes, and then we'll take them out and we will see how it goes taking them out of these things. All right, I forgot something real quick, so I'm gonna just hold the mic because after that I'm gonna pop it in. But I mentioned that these might be fun for Christmas morning, so you don't have to leave them like this. Sometimes it's fun to make them look Christmassy, so let's get some sprinkles, because that is awesome. We can make them look all pretty. See? Fun, right? So, the muffins are done. And I'm going to show them to you in the pan, and then I'll show you how we get them out. This is the one pan that had just the 2 different kinds. But see, we'll pull one of these out to put it on our thing. It's got, look at all those pretty sprinkles. And now here we go. So we saw when you have it on this, which probably you already knew. Let's try our parchment paper one. Oh, look how easily that came out. That's lovely. Here's what I noticed when I was cooking them, is that because we added the extra, that the cooking time said 18 to 20 minutes on 325, but I needed to up that to 350 and cook them for about 25 to 30 minutes in order for them to be done in the middle. And so that's, that took a little bit longer that way, and that's okay. So when I used my knife to cut around, this is the pan that had, see, you can see the water. Now, because of this type of pan, I think they're aluminum type, they cool very quickly. So even though we just took them out of the oven a few minutes ago, it's already cool. But see how the water in there meant that those 2 empty ones didn't turn black or anything. I'm gonna just cut these, and what I do is I cut around. I'm gonna hold this and try for you to see. Cut it and hold it, cut it around in a circle all the way around. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But these are the ones that have the pan spray in them. So let's see if that came out. Not completely. So that fell apart. All right, I'm going to cut the other one and I'll come back. So there are our muffins. So I think what we learned is, personally, I like the parchment paper ones the best. I think they're the easiest to get out. I do like when you use a little cupcake thing, but I guess pan spray is not my favorite. So there we go. So that works. And I think I remember I told you when I did the cookies before that I like to put the parchment paper on the cookies. You can just get up and throw your muffins together and have them ready for people for Christmas morning. And if you have kids in your house, it's kind of fun to have a little breakfast there when you're opening gifts and things like that. So, all right, thank you. Remember to subscribe and comment. And if you like this video, let me know. Guys, thanks so much. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all of the comment and helps that you give me. Turns out the muffins are really, really yummy.